Today's episode of The Mom Game is brought to you by our friends at Gateway Buick GMC at LBJ and Jupiter. I know that buying a car can be stressful, but not at Gateway because their slogan is Gateway's Got It. And just what does that mean? Well, it means Gateway's got a wide selection of new Buicks, GMCs, and GM certified used vehicles, all competitively priced. Gateway's got it. In these busy times, you want a car dealer who makes things easy and convenient. Well, guess what? Gateway's got it. When you log on to gatewaybuickgmc.com, look for the Shop, Click, Drive button. This allows you to shop from the comfort of your home, and who doesn't want that? In fact, it's as easy as 1, 2, 3. 1, select your vehicle. 2, create your offer. 3, schedule your delivery. And on top of all this, Gateway Buick GMC offers complimentary car washes for life. So when you want a dealer who has it all, Gateway's got it. You can find them online at gatewaybuickgmc.com or shop in person at LBJ and Jupiter. GMC, we are professional grade. Experience the new Buick. Welcome into episode 173 of The Mom Game. I'm Emily Jones. I messed with my mic. She is Julie Dobbs. We've got a couple of very special guests in studio today. Excited to introduce you to them. And Julie, first of all, how the heck are you?
I'm good.
You're good.
I'm good.
Good. Yeah.
Just surviving the heat dome as best as I can.
Yes, the heat bubble. And you and I are so matchy. And unbeknownst to us, our special guest today, our first special guest today, is also matchy with us.
Yes.
This is Jindia Blount. Jindia, thank you so much for being with us. We have a ton to talk to you about your work in the community and also to what you do on the side as an entrepreneur. And she brought us some presents, Julie.
Oh my gosh.
We always love presents. We'll get to those. But I wanted to start off with how we met.
Yes.
So, Julie, we met at a charity event for the Double Eagle Foundation, which is a charity in Fort Worth run by the guys at Double Eagle, who most of which I went to college with, Cody Campbell, John Sellers, those guys. And they have a charity event every year, and it's held out at is it
the hangar?
The hangar. It's what airport is it? I forget. Why am I forgetting? Meacham.
Yes.
Yep. So at Meacham Airport, it's just an airplane hangar, and they bring in tables and food and entertainment and all this kind of stuff, and it's a really big event. And so I was on my way to the bathroom, and I hear this voice, and she was like, "Girl, I love your dress. Oh, look at the shoes." And so we just started talking. And so I asked her a little bit about her story and what she was doing there. And I want you to take it from there because it's the Mid-City Youth Sports Academy.
Yes.
And so we started talking about, I don't even know how we got on the subject, but just about what you're doing with this group of young men and women and what you're trying to do in their lives.
Yes, absolutely. So I think I complimented you on your dress. And you complimented my earrings, and then I just got into saying,
I love this.
Yes, so I
in
just,
the restroom?
Yeah, no, on my way.
In passing.
But it probably would have happened in the restroom
It
too.
would have. That's usually where you just meet some nice women and get to chatting.
Yeah, exactly, right? And so I think we just went on saying, I was explaining to you that I was there in the capacity of like volunteering with my boys. And I introduced you to a couple of my boys, and I, let you know about the organization, which it's a nonprofit youth sports organization. And I'm really just trying to coach and trying to just guide, young humans to be contributing, God bless you, contributing members in the society in which they live. A lot of my kids are some of the less affluent kiddos in the community, and we are in the AAU realm. And I just don't think that not having the resources or not having the money to play AAU should limit them from being able to play on the same platform as the people who can afford like the $1,500 and $3,000 a month teams. So that's what I do. I allow them to come in, play AAU, and showcase their talents. A lot of those boys are extremely talented. It's just that they don't have the money at their disposal to be able to do that. So we do those events, and in order to play, they don't necessarily come up with money, but they have to give me time currency. So they have to come in, they have to put in the volunteer work. I sign off on their community service hours, and we just raise the money, and the money goes 100% to them uniforms, paying for their tournaments, things like that. If they do get a chance to try out for a team, it may go towards their clearinghouse, getting their clearinghouse stuff together, because a lot of times the schools don't even do that for the kiddos. So just want to kind of give them an opportunity
Yeah.
because,
And where did this idea come from? How did it start? First of all, you're a mother yourself. You just became a grandmother today.
Yes.
Congratulations for the first
Congratulations.
time.
I am
Grandbaby
excited.
girl Phoenix was
Aw.
like literally just born while she was
Oh my
waiting.
gosh.
Yes.
Well, thank you
Oh
for
my-
still showing up
Yeah.
here.
I'm so excited.
Yeah. So
I'm
they're
so-
in California. So how many
Yes.
children do you have? Is this your son or daughter that had a child?
It's our son. So I have two biological children, but we don't use that S word. So my oldest son, my husband's oldest boy, he and his girlfriend Lauren, they just had baby Phoenix about maybe on the way here while we
Okay.
were driving here. They called, and so she's a healthy baby girl, 7 pounds 2 ounces, 19 inches long. So
You got the
I'm
stats.
so
You got the
excited
stats.
about that. But yeah, so yeah, I'm just really, really excited about that.
So, and how old are your children, or
So,
all the all
yeah.
the children?
So the one who just made us grandparents, he's 27. So we've got 27, 25, and 21, and then my biological children are 19 and 17.
Okay.
So I've got a sophomore in college and a senior in high school, incoming senior in high school.
Okay, and where did this idea to start this nonprofit and to help these kids? Where did the idea come from? When did it start? How did it start? How'd you do it?
So I am super competitive. My husband and I, we love all things sports, all sports. Like I can tell you, like my favorite disc jockey of all times was Pat Day, right? So I love sports. My kids are all athletically inclined. My husband played basketball, and my brother, who was shot and killed by an off-duty officer back in 2014, he was also an avid lover of sports, but particularly basketball. So I started the organization back in 2018. And I just kind of wanted to do something in the community. I knew that my kids love basketball as well. Both my kids, all my kids except for one, play basketball. The middle daughter, the middle kid, she doesn't play ball. But we started the organization, my husband and I, back in 2018, and it just kind of grew. We weren't expecting such an overwhelming turnout. And then when COVID hit, we kind of had to take a little break from it. But the camp that I'm trying to do, it was just to kind of keep the legacy of something that my brother was so passionate about alive. And I just kind of felt that in addition to advocating, for social justice and things of that nature, I just thought that this would be something really cool that I could do, to shed a positive light on his life and his legacy. So
yeah. And how has it been received from the kids and the families, and how have you seen it kind of change some people's lives?
I am really excited about just being able to be a part of something bigger than myself. And then especially about me being a disabled veteran, there are some things that I physically can't do, but I think a part of me is living vicariously through the kids out there on the court, right? Watching them. And I make sure I let them know that it's supposed to be fun, right? When it's no longer fun, it's time to hang up the sneakers. So it's been really, really great. I've met some amazing people, made some awesome connections. And I'm really proud to say that my class of 2022 girls graduates from last year, I had three 22s graduate. They didn't have any looks. They didn't have any offers, right? So they kind of thought, oh, my basketball career is over. We took them on the AAU circuit and they traveled with us. We took them to Kentucky, Louisiana. They went with one of our coaches at the time to Arizona. And all three of those girls are in a collegiate basketball situation.
Oh my gosh.
And I think that's no small feat, especially, their NCAA accounts hadn't even been converted yet. So we had to pay to get their clearinghouse stuff done. And so I'm really proud of that. That's what I'm trying to do now with my 23s, with the boys. So I have just boys right now. Coach Chastity Bars, which was my former partner with the team with the girls. She now has her own organization. Shout out to Coach Chas, love you. But and so they're doing their thing. But now I have the boys. So I have, I think, 3 23s. I think you met 2 of them at the event. And so you met 3 of them actually. No, you met 2 of the 22s and 1 of the 2 of the 23s and 1 of the 24s.
Okay.
And Daniel's in Portugal right now.
Okay.
But he called last night. He said to tell you hello.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So I just want them to have the opportunity. I just don't think that, I preach to them that what God has for you is for you, right? And nobody can take that away. So I just kind of want to help them, along the way. But we do more than just basketball. We do the whole person. Like I coach them on, financial literacy. We do a mom and me, and I know that's kind of biased, but I do a mommy and me scholarship readiness boot camp where we talk about, because some of the parents, they just don't have the information. We
Right.
talk about FAFSA. We talk about scholarship essays.
Mm-hmm.
We talk about getting academic portfolios together. I go through the recruitment and scouting process, what it looks like. Because some of them think that getting that little circular in the mail means that they're, and I'm like, no, that's not what that means. So we just kind of coach them and just kind of teach them, the ins and out on how to advocate for themselves.
And
So
so they don't get lost in the
system,
in the
so they
system.
don't get sucked up into the streets.
And okay, so when you were at the event that I was at where I met you, so how do you like find these volunteer opportunities, or also where they may be paid, but that's obviously going back to all their stuff. How do you find these events to work and ways for them to raise money and, like you said, use their time currency?
Most of the times it's uh, interpersonal relationships that I've built over the years since I've been here. I got here in 2011. So, and then oftentimes I'll go on like a volunteer match. There's like a group on Facebook, but for the most part, I have different caterers that might come and say, "Hey, look, I'm doing this event. I need this many people." Like when we did the hangar event last year, I had like 30 kids out there. I had 30 people that I had to provide. Um, and then we used to do the TCU concession stands where we had the Sodexo account. Unfortunately, due to something that, happened, we don't have that stand anymore. Hopefully we can get that back. But those are the types of things that we do. We've been actually trying to to see if maybe we can get with Legends to try to do like AT&T and even get with the Rangers. I think we talked about that at the event. I met the young lady, sweet lady who's in charge of the vending.
Natalie
I think that's her name.
Natalie Simon, probably.
Yes, and we've been going back and forth via email to try to see if we can get there as well. Because, like I said, they can't provide money, but I do. I'm a certifying official for the Presidential Volunteer Service Award, so I mean, it's a win-win for them. They raise the money, they're able to get uniforms and go and play, but then they also get those volunteer hours,
Sure.
And it looks good on their academic resumes.
Yeah.
That's a bullet when you have that if it comes down to you and another candidate getting a scholarship to go and play ball, or even academic wise, I'm real big on academia. If it comes down to you and another candidate and you have that bullet on your academic portfolio, then that will put you above, the other candidates for that.
Sure.
So,
okay, I want to talk because I want to get to you personally too, but I wanted to get right back to the tournaments that you're trying to organize. Or sorry, the camp that you're trying to organize is coming up at the end of July in honor of your brother. I don't recall, and forgive me, I don't know if it was like a headline making story when it happened. So can you, if it's not too
sure.
painful, to kind of where the impetus of that came from, because it sounds like that triggered a lot
Yes,
of dominoes along the way.
It really did. And, I had to find an exit strategy and heal me from that trauma first before I was able to come and, and do his legacy justice. I think I wanted to change the narrative of that situation and not give the person who took his life the glory. So like I intentionally excluded, I redacted it. I didn't put his name in there, right? But on June 22nd of 2014, my brother and only sibling, Juan May, he was a Marine Corps veteran and dad. We were attending a party for one of our family members. It was a birthday party. And this guest was an off-duty cop at the time. He was a guest of the party. So, he was inebriated. And he basically, to make a long story short, I won't go into all the details, but he picked a fight with my brother. And, it was really a argument between him and another guest. But he picked a fight with my brother. My brother was trying to diffuse the situation. And he picked a fight with my brother, and his ego was bruised because he lost the fight. After it was over with, his wife unlocked the key fob, and he went and got his off-duty service weapon, and he shot my brother, and he killed him. I tried to do CPR. I tried to stop the bleeding, but, there was nothing I could do, right?
Jeez.
And so it was difficult to have to make that call and tell my parents what happened. And it caused a continental divide within my family. We went to the grand jury. The case was no billed. The guy went on to, take early retirement from the Arlington Police Department, which was where he was working at the time, even though the gun had the serial number filed off, and even though during grand jury he was caught in lies on the stand, but it was still no build. It was like they treated it as though it was like an officer involved shooting. And it was just so many discrepancies and so many things that it was like I was in a movie. They didn't do a BAC on him until 48 hours later, after he had been in the hospital receiving IV fluids, in the banana bag with the vitamins and stuff. Then they did the BAC. So it just was so many anomalies and so many inconsistencies. It was just ridiculous. I just couldn't believe it. And, watching my parents have to deal with, the death of their firstborn child and their only son, it was just a lot, you know. But I knew that if it hadn't been for Mothers Against Police Brutality, and I call her Mother Colette Flanagan, who's the founder of that, taking my family under their wing and helping us through that time, I don't know how we would have made it through that. Literally, because my brother left behind 2 daughters and a son, and he's got 3 grandkids now that he'll never meet. And so I just wanted to kind of do something. I launched the ticket sales on June the 22nd, which was his 9th anniversary, because I didn't want that day to continue to be something that I dread. Even though it's still hurtful, sometimes I still get in the shower and let the water run and just let my tears effortlessly fall. But I just felt like, okay, if I do this every year, then I'm taking the power back, kind of getting back in the driver's
that makes
seat
sense.
and taking back that, because I don't want to give that to him, And so it's just been a constant struggle, because he continues to do things, I think, that antagonizes us as a family. Here recently, he was asked to resign from his job as the chief of police in Henderson, Nevada. And he was saying that he was retiring when really they had voted no confidence in his leadership ability. And he came back to Victoria, Texas, and applied.
So he went on to go be a chief of police at another...
He went on to become the deputy chief of police in Henderson, Nevada. Because the person that was the chief, when she got the job, she requested him to be her deputy chief.
Okay, and then I think now I remember. I'm starting to remember.
It was at the Duncanville Papados. It was at the Papados in Duncanville. It was a big, huge story.
Okay, yeah.
They were trying to spin it like, they try to vilify the victim for whatever reason, find whatever they can in that person's past to try to vilify them. But the truth of the matter is, he was unarmed. You know what I mean?
Right.
He
was no reason it should have ended that way ever.
The ends didn't justify the means. But he went to Henderson, Nevada. He was the deputy chief. The chief got, I don't know what happened, where she lost her job, and he was the income. Yeah, he stepped up. And so they voted no confidence in his ability to lead. The police department contacted me, several of them, the wives, right? And it was just a lot. So he recently, I'm going to say within the last probably 3 or 4 months, he applied to be the chief of police in Victoria, Texas. And he did an interview. And someone said, I don't even know who it was, because I've asked people to not do it. But they sent me the interview, and his new version of what happened that night, it was completely juxtaposed to his grand jury testimony. And I was like, I can't let my mom see this.
Yeah.
So I ended up having to write the city and let them know, hey, look, don't take my word for it. It's public record. Pull the files before you bring in this person and hire them as your chief of police, because the cycle is gonna continue to repeat itself.
Yeah.
So I wanted to just kind of make that a positive thing for Juan.
For sure. Okay, so and good on you for doing that, but also I cannot even imagine having to go through what you and your family have been through. What do you want people to know about the tournament, if they know? I keep calling it a tournament, the camp. Where it is, if you need any help, if you are looking for kids, how just tell us what we need to know about the camp.
Okay.
I've got your website up here. That's what I'm looking at. I'm just learning more about it. And
so
it's awesome.
We are doing the inaugural Juan O'Neill. That was my brother's name, Juan O'Neill made. We are doing the inaugural Juan O'Neill. It's called Smoke in the City basketball training and recruitment camp. Sorry, tramp. Recruitment camp.
You got my tournament and the
Training
camp
and
mixed up.
camp, right? Tramp, right? We're gonna do
You
a tramp.
ruined it now,
right?
Emily, for
Exactly.
her.
Sorry.
But we're doing a camp on July 29th and 30th. And I think it's going to be, we're going to have special guest coaches come from, all over the state to come out and do collegiate level training for the kiddos. We're going to do 8th through 12th grade, and it is boys and girls. It's $75 per child. If someone wants to come in and like it's an Eventbrite event. I think I sent you the Eventbrite link. So it's on Eventbrite. You can sponsor a child. You can donate. We are in need of in-kind donations, whether it be waters or whether it be vendors. We will have vending out there. So if you're a small business owner and you want to come out and vend at the event, that would be great as well. We do need a new facility.
Yeah.
Because the place that I was going to have it at, which was Hebron High School, I was going to use their multipurpose center. I just found out that they're scheduled to do stripping and waxing of the floors in the middle of the event. So I don't want it to have that
Doesn't seem ideal.
strong odor. I have asthma, so I just don't want to risk it having, that strong odor in the middle of my camp. So we're looking for a new facility to have it at. Just someplace that has maybe 2 or 3 basketball courts, so we can still do the rotation of the different stations that we'll be doing, and still have room for our vendors. And I'm gonna have some special guest speakers come out and speak to the kids. And I have some of my PR clients that are gonna come out and perform for the kids and things like that. And I'm trying to put together, like my dentist said that she'll donate some things, and I'm guesstimating maybe about 100 kids.
Okay.
Just any in-kind donations that you want. It's like a back-to-school thing.
Perfect.
I think I have a barber who said that he would come out and maybe do haircuts and things like that.
Huh.
So any in-kind donations or whatever.
Okay, so basically July 29th and
And
30th, looking for in-kind donations, people to sponsor kids.
Yes, ma'am.
And if you have a gym with a couple of courts, 3
Yes.
or 4, it would be great.
Yes, that would be awesome.
Tell us how people can find out more about this tournament. Is there a website? We'll link the website too when we post stuff.
Yes.
But where would you send them to? Or do you just want to would you just send them to the Instagram page?
Yes. So on the Instagram page, there's the QR code there that sends you
Tell us your
directly.
Instagram.
The team Instagram is at Brand Smoke. That's BRANDSMOKE.
Okay.
Mid Cities Smoke stands for sportsmanship, merit, obedience, knowledge, and endurance. And those are my 5 key points that I try to teach them, that if they exhibit those 5, core values, that even once the ball stops dribbling, it'll take them far, and they'll still be able to, make it in life.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I see here on your website too, it says what people's contributions will go towards.
Yes.
Charter bus, $18,000, fuel and insurance, $8,000, lodging, $9,000, food and nutrition, $7,500, tournament fees, $16,250, uniforms, $6,500, emergencies and incidentals, $5,000, parking, $1,500. Isn't it just kind of crazy how expensive it's gotten for kids to play sports?
It
I
is.
mean,
And
no matter if you're like really well off or not, or even in between, I love this concept because it does. You can see the kids whose parents pay a lot of money and the ones who don't, and all of a sudden there's a split, and then these kids are left just being of put in a different group.
Right. And then and it wasn't like, it's not like these kids are extremely talented. Like, I would encourage anybody to just come out and watch the athleticism. And, I've got one kid, he just graduated, and I swear, like, when the boy dunks the ball, it's like his whole arm is going inside the rim, right? So I just want to give them that opportunity to, even if it doesn't materialize into anything, at least it won't be for the sake of them not having the opportunity.
Yeah.
Well,
and it is materializing into something. When you talk about the success stories that you have, even if they're not, like you said, even if they're not playing basketball, that's still a success story if they're productive citizens in our community or wherever they land. So I think it's awesome what you're doing. I'm so glad we got to have you. And before we go, though, I want to talk about a little bit about you personally. You mentioned that you're a disabled veteran. Tell us about your time in the service.
Okay, so I was in the Navy from 1998 to 2005.
Okay.
I planned on making a career of it. You know, my nickname, in fact, with my friends in the Navy was GI Jen. You know, because I mean, I was stationed on this ship with my husband. In fact, I met my husband in Honolulu, which was my first duty station after boot camp. I was stationed at Camp Smith in Hawaii at the U.S. SIGPAC, which was a joint service command. But I love the Navy. I got everything out of my Navy career that I put into it. And I got hurt, and, it cut my career short. But, I made some lifelong friends in the Navy, and I would go back. If they were taking the rejects, I would go back tomorrow. Like, literally, I'm serious. If they were taking doing take backs and recalls, I would go back because I had such an amazing time. I tell people, just like I preach to the kids, you get out of it what you put into it.
Mm-hmm.
And I loved it. I mean, there's nothing bad I could say about my experience in the Navy. So, but I'm now 100% disabled veteran, and I'm just living vicariously through my kiddos.
Yeah.
They all call me mama, mama. I'm like, I have my biological kids, but I've got hundreds of kids.
Yeah.
And it's just so much
That's
fun.
awesome.
Yeah.
It keeps you young.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, and also too, you're doing something with is this your jewelry?
It's
okay.
So I'm an independent consultant with paparazzi accessories as well.
Okay.
So
Cool.
I'm a serial
Look at
entrepreneur.
you.
I've got all
Yeah,
kinds
you
of
got a
things
lot
going
going
on.
on.
Look,
I love it.
I'm
like
like
me.
just
Oh my
throwing
gosh,
everything
look at
against
you.
the wall and seeing what sticks.
Yep, there's nothing wrong with that.
Okay, wait. Where's those fringe earrings that I was talking
They're
about?
in there, the black ones.
Oh,
There they
cute.
go. Yes.
Cute. Yes.
Oh,
So you
Thank
guys have the
you.
same thing, I think.
Super cute.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
These are awesome. Anything else you're doing or want to talk about that we can help you in your efforts
Aw,
or
thank
anything
you.
else like
These
that? I
are
know.
awesome.
Isn't that awesome?
Oh,
We're in
gosh,
white
yes,
today.
thank
I don't
you.
even need to worry on, so I'll put it on for the rest
Yeah,
of the
and I put some red in there
Yeah,
too for you
shoot,
guys.
yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much. Yeah. Tell me, like I said, anything else we can.
Yeah, I
I
mean,
love to hear people's stories, and your story's great. And I love that I
really
met you
is.
randomly
And-
on my way to the bathroom at a
I
charity
know.
event. I love
I'm
it.
glad
Yeah.
and I
Into
just
each
thank
other.
you, really. I just want to thank you for, recognizing whatever it was that you saw and
Yeah.
inviting me, to come and be able to speak up for the kiddos and just to advocate for them and kind of just stand in the gap for the kids in the community.
Yeah,
and
well,
that's what it's all about.
I love what you're doing. It is, and hopefully, when this airs and we'll post on social media and stuff, we'll have some people that'll want to sponsor some kids or maybe provide some in-kind donations.
Mhm.
Maybe somebody has a gym you guys can utilize.
Yep.
Um,
Or maybe you just want to go watch, like you
Right.
said.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
our mom game audience is they're loyal and passionate and very like-minded. I think with Julie and I about wanting to do good things and help good people, and you're
Yes.
definitely one of those.
I love it. I love it. I mean, I've watched some of the episodes in this. Being that a mental health advocate and patient, I just love what you guys are doing.
Well,
You know, how transparent you guys are about,
what disasters we are.
and being okay with, being
Yeah.
disasters.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
I love it. It was so refreshing for me to come on and see you guys speaking about things that I'm constantly telling people about, like giving yourself grace and allowing yourself to have those
Yeah.
days. You know?
Well, thank you. That's
Thank
very
you guys
kind of
so
you to
much.
say. That's
Yeah,
what
well,
we try to
Jindia
do
Blount,
here.
it was a pleasure having you. Check
It
out
was a pleasure.
at Brand Smoke on Instagram. You can find everything you need from there. But Jindia, thank you so much for coming. We
Yeah,
appreciate
thank
it.
you.
guys.
Yeah.
Bless
Good
you.
luck with
Thank
everything.
you so much. It was
Yeah.
such a pleasure.
Our last wonderful guest brought to you by one of our wonderful sponsors, Bottle Rover. If you don't have the Bottle Rover app on your phone yet, what are you doing? I hope you're not still driving to the liquor store and wandering around, maybe even bringing your kid into the liquor store. Don't do it. Don't do it. You have to get the app on your phone, the Bottle Rover app, and they will deliver your drinks for free right to your door. All you have to do is have a minimum order of $50. That's so easy to do with one bottle of liquor, a couple bottles of wine, maybe one bottle of wine if you're fancy, whatever it may be. Bottle Rover is here for you. They will hook you up. We all know how long these summer days get with kids home for months at a time, and we need our drinks. So get that app on your phone, sit back, relax, let Bottle Rover do the work. Bottle Rover is here to take that relaxation to the next level for you, and they're really awesome people, great supporters of us here on the Mom Game, and we're so thankful for them. Download that Bottle Rover app, kick back, relax, let Bottle Rover fetch your drinks for free. When you spend $50 and you're shopping local liquor stores too, straight from your phone, there's no reason not to do it. Enjoy the cool vibes with Bottle Rover, and thank you for bringing us our last guest, Bottle Rover.
So thank you to Bottle Rover. And now our next wonderful guest is courtesy of our friends at Globe Life. The job market right now is a different landscape than it used to be. Whether you're attempting to balance your work and home life or find a career that aligns with your goals and needs, it is a lot to juggle. If you're looking for a career path that offers a flexible schedule, the ability to make a difference, and the independence to build your own business, take a look at Globe Life. Anyone watching the Texas Rangers play has seen the name Globe Life. I'm very familiar, but people may not know how much opportunity is there and how many successful women thrive in their careers at Globe Life. If you've never considered insurance, the insurance industry, you should know that a growing number of women are finding true success within it. Globe Life has been around for generations and prides itself on its commitment to make tomorrow better. With virtual and in-person business models, you can find success wherever you are. If you want to be paid what you're worth, keep a flexible schedule, and find meaning in your career while being engaged in what matters most at home, reach out to Globe Life today at globelifeagents.com. It could change your trajectory in a way you never thought possible. That's globelifeagents.com to discover what a career at Globe Life can do for you. Bless my heart, I cannot read. We do love Globe Life. They're amazing. They've been huge supporters of us from the beginning, and huge supporters of a lot of our endeavors. And we talk about Noble Vines supporting the Do It for Dirt Foundation. So does Globe Life, and we're so grateful to them for all that they do. And without further ado,
Your Ranger game tonight's going to be awesome.
Wow,
This is gonna be a
it's gonna
day.
be amazing. And all I'm drinking is Topo Chico.
I know.
For the love. Okay. With that, we bring in
Hello.
our girl Ashley.
The bottom of
Yay,
the barrel,
Ashley.
ladies.
This is not the bottom of the barrel. So this is Ashlea Bullington. She is officially now our producer and an official member of the Mom Game family.
Yep.
She is now she's got a piece of the pie. It's not a huge one, and we're trying to make it bigger, I promise. But I've known Ashley since she used to babysit my kids.
That was fun.
So you were playing
I was playing soccer at TCU.
soccer
the
at
time.
TCU. How did I find you?
So Emily and I met. I actually met Julie too, not too long after it. But Emily, we met. I was working in the athletic department at TCU,
Okay.
trying to get experience. And not gonna lie, and this is a huge secret, but I kind of stalked you that day because somebody told me that you were gonna be there, and I was like, oh my god, Emily Jones! I have to go meet Emily Jones. I
Awesome.
stalked you. You were kind of cool back when I was that age. I was so awesome. You're still kind of cool now, but still.
Thank you.
Um,
Much cooler then, I'm sure.
So, but you had Henry with you, and I think you just lost your babysitter.
Oh, was this where that was a TCU game I was doing?
Yeah. So you were
I was
in
doing
there.
sidelines for Fox,
Mm-hmm.
and that was probably the Friday.
Yeah, it was
when we do the
right
Friday
before.
interviews.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And so she had Henry with her, and so I'm obviously a little bit starstruck. I don't get starstruck a ton, but I was a little starstruck that I got to meet Emily. But she had Henry, and I love kids, so I just oohed and awed over Henry. And
It was meant to be.
It was so meant to be.
Yeah.
And then I met you when I was interning at Fox a couple months later, and you were reporting with the Stars.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so it's been a long time.
Yeah. She babysat my kids. She interned at Fox when we both were there. And then we we always stayed in touch.
Yeah.
Because you babysat for us for a
When
while.
I moved back from Jacksonville, so during college I babysat for you.
Yeah.
And then when I moved back from Jacksonville, I did for a little bit too.
Okay, Jacksonville. So you went from TCU to.
So I went from TCU to Lafayette, Louisiana. I was a general news reporter there. It's only there for 6 months. News
that
was
sounds
not my
rough.
thing.
Yeah.
Been there.
So I'll be very frank when I say I had a really weird moving around. So I wasn't it was a very grassroots way to get to my career. So then I went to this sports network called the American Sports Network. It's now Stadium. And there I did a little bit of everything. So I was like a PA, but I was also a host, and I also engineered one of their trucks on the weekends and ran EVS and timeout coordinating and just whatever they needed. At one point in time, I was running master control for them and crewing their producers and directors.
Which is so great, for anyone who's interested in a career in television, being able to know how to do all
Everything.
the shit might be best
Yeah.
tool that you can have in your
Y'all-
bag.
It's never
Y'all
what
will-
everybody wants to do,
No.
Yeah.
but it's something that will help you a lot.
Yeah.
Y'all will totally laugh too because so when I was in Lafayette, I was trying to still stay in sports because I was just doing news. And so I would like spot on the weekends for ULL when they had ESPN games. And young 21-year-old Ashley had a little too much confidence. So somebody broke a long lens camera before a game and I walked up to the director and I was like, excuse me, and my mom's gonna totally get on to me if she ever watches this, but I was like, if you need someone who knows what the fuck they're doing, like, let me know.
You cussed.
I like it. I like it.
He was
I like it.
Send me your resume. And so
yeah.
this random director that owned his own crewing company and his own like trucking company sent my resume to Niles Media, which is where I ended up working for crewing and whatnot and hosting and everything else. And I got a job 2 weeks later up there. So I only lasted in Lafayette like 6 months.
So, and here's the deal though. People always ask like, how can I stand out? Because there are a million men, women,
There's
children,
always
whatever, that
the
are
next
trying
person.
to get. And so I get that question asked of me a lot. It's like, how do I stand out? Well, that's one way. You can drop an F-bomb on someone you've barely met, and obviously it can have a positive impact. This is why I
suggest it though.
This is why, right? But this is why I feel like cussing can be a very powerful tool. I'm not telling anyone out there to go drop F-bombs on potential employers, but sometimes you have to get somebody's attention, and that was the way you got their attention.
Well, and for me, like a lot of people didn't take me seriously at first because they were like, oh, and I was 21, 22 at the time because I graduated really early from high school and college. So they just didn't take me seriously. And I was like, no, like, first off, in news, they're like, oh, you need to cut your hair. I'm like, I'm not going to freaking cut my hair. You know what I look like. And then with those guys, they were like, oh, well, you're a girl. And I was like, I have more experience playing sports than all of y'all put together.
Yeah.
So it went from there. Then I lived in Kansas City with Niles and in Sinclair and the American Sports Network for about a year and a half, and then I went to Jacksonville, Florida, and did some stupid things there, and came home for a couple of years, and then I went to Reno, Nevada.
Wait, what were the stupid things?
Well,
You can't just drop, I did stupid things,
really
and then just
frank.
like brush over
So
it.
I was like, I was young and dumb and going through some things emotionally that I wasn't really capable of handling. So I drank a lot,
Okay.
and I got a DUI.
Oh, I've been there.
Yeah, I got a DUI, and that was like.
I'm hanging out with you two. I'm the only responsible one here that's
Clearly.
never been caught doing
I mean,
anything.
come on.
Obviously, said the girl who I heard a little inebriated on the radio the other day.
That's true.
I was there. It was great.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
Okay. So yeah,
I
shit
got
happens.
I got a DUI, which thank God I got it in Florida. I'm not suggesting anybody ever get a DUI, but if you do, get one in Florida.
Well, and when you're so young, like I remember when I got my DUI, and like I will say it changes your entire mindset though of like how you
100%.
treat drinking and driving. Like
Not only that, but it really set my mindset of like how I interact with people and go out now too.
Yeah.
Because like I was with a guy at the like not dating him, but like we were out together and he let me get into the trouble. Like instead of being like, okay, no, you're way too drunk to drive, he was like, oh no, you're fine. And I was just like,
Yeah, that's
but
wrong.
he also didn't
yeah,
know me very
right.
well.
And now too, praise Jesus, not to get on a drunk driving.
This
you know,
whole
tangent,
episode
but-
brought to you
yes,
by
right.
Uber.
No, but that's what I'm saying. But right, like there's so many options now
Yep.
to where it's just like
Yep.
you can plan for it, or
Yeah.
even if you don't plan for it, it's so much. But yeah, back in those days, I mean, what year was that?
I think it was like 2015.
Yeah, I mean, it's
Something
still
like that.
right. I mean, but when I got mine, it was 98. And that just wasn't a thing. You had to call a cab from probably a payphone. Anyway, but now it's just like, if we understand you're going to partake, have some beverages, but just get in an Uber, all that kind of stuff. So yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So
Lyft, whatever, Alto, whatever, all the rides. We'll take any endorsements.
We sure
hey,
will.
let's go.
We're
need
big
it.
on rideshare.
So from there, I moved home, and I actually started freelancing. Like I kind of thought my career might be over, but I ended up freelancing, which I freelanced for ESPN, which I still do the Armed Forces Bowl and First Responder Bowl every year. I freelanced for Fox, doing minor league baseball, got to do sideline reporting for them and kind of set that standard. And then I just kind of sat there for a long time, and like I applied for 1,000 jobs after my probation was over. I feel like I'm talking like an inmate right here. That's terrible.
No.
But I ended up working for my mom for a while. She owns a boutique, so her and I were partnering in her boutique, and that's kind of where I bought a camera for the first time. And I was really like teaching myself how to use After Effects and how to use Premiere and all these like softwares that I now use on a daily basis, but I literally taught myself how to do it all. So then I went to go work for the Diamondbacks for about 6 months, and I was working with like their minor league affiliates, trying to help them set their like standard for video, for how they implement it into their teams, mostly with the AAA team. And then I got a call from the company I came home for called Game Day Productions. So they do high school sports, inside high school sports on DFW, on NBC.
Run through there too.
Yeah. So they were telling me about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I worked there for 4 years. They brought me in to do social, but I did social for all their shows, hosted their digital content and that kind of stuff. And that's kind of where I figured out that, digital and social media was where my path was going to go. I still host when somebody needs it, but other than that, I'm kind of like, I help people build their brands, and I love it. Like, I really have a passion for helping people build their businesses and give them that extra oomph that they might need on the social platforms and the social presence, because it's such a vital part of business. But if you go look at my business's social media, it's so bad. So please don't do that.
Well, because you're doing it for everybody
You just
else.
need to,
Literally,
yeah,
I
just
spend,
look
like, all my
you just
time
need to
on
post a client list. Like, here, like, don't look at this. Just look at my client list.
So when people are like, oh, can I get your handles? I always send them. I have like a list of things that I've done for clients. And I'm like, please go to my clients instead of me.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's kind of how that started. I worked for another company briefly after I left Game Day Productions, which I still freelance for them, and I love them to death. They're the best. If anybody ever needs anything high school sports related, they're who to go to. And then I called you.
Yeah.
I will say this, and I'm going to probably end up talking this entire time before we even get to anything, but like people like you, Emily, have been such a huge impact on me in my career and just like the person that I am, because you were a part of my life at a really vital time where I was trying to like figure out what I was going to do. But not only that, I just saw how much you hustled. Like, you always had a side hustle and other things going on. And that's kind of how my actual business started. I was working with Game Day, and my best friend needed a wedding videographer, and I was like, I can do that. Like, so that's kind of how Bull Rose Productions started. But like people like you and Gina and Bill Ellis and Brett Kelly, like, were such huge impacts on me when I was starting, just to see like not only how to do the business, but also just how to be a hard worker.
Yeah. Oh, that's so sweet of you to say, Ash. Well, I feel we feel so indebted to you for what you've been able to do for the mom game. You came in at the perfect, it's like crazy how timing things work out. But I remember, because of, you had that, it's not like you've got that work ethic for me. You had that, which is why, and I saw that, which is why every time somebody would ask me about, do you know of anyone who could do X? And you would always be the first person that came to my mind, just because I knew you personally. I knew what kind of a person you were. I knew what kind of a worker you were. And so that you were always, I talk to a million people a million times a day. Actually,
always
that's a
how it
little
goes.
excessive, but
A lot of
it's a lot of
times
people
a
over a
day.
lot of period of time. And you remember the ones that will, you feel comfortable recommending, and personally, it was always an easy recommendation for me. And so when Julie and I had this need for something, you were the first person I thought of. Yeah.
Well, it's funny because it started with like, can you just help us with our social here
Yeah.
and there? And then it's like, okay, she's freaking killing it with our social and doing way more than we ever could have done ourselves. And then we all of a sudden needed to move studios.
The studio, dang it.
And like, what do you know? Ashley knows how to do that too. So Ashley has been like solely responsible for getting us transitioned, moving us in the studio. I'll say Emily was like the set designer.
Yes.
Emily like knew what she wanted
This
with the
desk
desk.
is beautiful.
Yeah, and Emily's got a vision. Like, your house is gorgeous. Like, I don't
yeah.
have that. And so I kind of threw up my hands. I'm like, Emmy, you do. Like, I'm along for this ride. And so I ordered the sign, and helped where I can. But like, Ash, for you to help us make this transition, I know it's not easy. It's hard. It's a tall task. And so we're just so grateful for you.
We'll
and
get there, though.
We couldn't have really kept the mom going without you at this point. So
well, that means a lot to me. And y'all mean a lot to me.
Yeah. Well,
I was having so many meltdowns when we were remote. Oh my God, I would have lost it.
Yeah.
I would have lost it. I was having.
There's only so much that we could do.
There's only so many meltdowns I can have.
And only so many meltdowns Emily can have.
The first week that y'all were like, okay, we need to get in the studio, I was like, oh, dang it. Like, crap. Okay, we're not ready to get in the studio. But because Emily, I cannot afford Emily to lose her mind.
Right?
We're doing it. Like, which granted, I do live streams for people. Texas Wesleyan football is a client of mine. And so they, every away game, do a show, a live stream show.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of why I had all that equipment. I was like, they literally hired me 2 days later. Oh, hey, I know your business is new, but you've got to do a live stream this week. And I was just like, I got to do what?
Yeah.
I don't even know how to do all that.
So how long have you had So your company's called Bull Rose Productions.
Yes.
Where does Bullington?
Okay, so Bullington, and then my grandma's middle name is Rose, and
Okay.
so my little brother just really ruined it this last couple weeks. So my child's name was gonna be Rose,
And then he had.
and now he's got a daughter, and her name's Cora Rose, which I love her to death. Also have a tattoo back here. That's a rose.
You can still do middle name
Oh,
Rose.
no. We're going.
You can make
We're
first
going
name
with
Rose.
a whole new name,
Okay.
guys. We won't run it. We won't get into my petty family stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, so that's how it started. My grandma has been huge impact, and her husband was, when he passed away, was one of the lowest points of my life. So they're my grandma's my best friend. I know I've got some other best friends, but my Mimi and I are super close. We went to Ed Sheeran together twice, both stadium tours.
Oh, and we need to get Grandma in.
That's fun.
Oh my God,
Grandma Rose.
she is amazing. My Mimi is. We did a podcast together. It was me, Erin Hardigan, my Mimi, and
Aw.
another one of my girlfriends, and we just had a blast. Y'all would freaking love that fiery redhead.
Does she
Yeah.
drink?
Oh yeah.
Okay, we'll throw a few back with her.
Yeah.
Not that that's a prerequisite to be our friend.
I mean,
it's not a
It's
prerequisite.
not. It helps.
who knows? It
Yeah.
could be.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's how that kind of came about. And then my best friend needed a wedding videographer, so I was in the wedding, and so
Wait, how do you do that?
So I kind of have a business partner. His name's Nathan Blaze. I could literally not have done anything without Nathan. He is a cinematographer, does movies, produces movies. He's actually up for an award and on this new show called Bounty that's based here in DFW. So he's killing it. I can barely get him to book my stuff right now, which is very upsetting. But anywho, so I hired him, and I hired my little brother, and was like, hey, y'all are going to do Taylor's wedding. So I'm out there with my camera, while she's getting ready and all that kind of stuff, while we're all getting ready. And then the ceremony comes on, and I go do that and set everything up beforehand. And then that's just kind of how it happened.
Yeah.
And then now you do all kinds of
All
stuff.
kinds of stuff.
So you do videos for.
So I do podcast production, video production for people. I sometimes take pictures, but I'm more of a hobbyist photographer. And then I do social media and social strategy for people. So I have you guys, obviously. And then I have the Dub Network, and then I have some other clients. I have an author from Nashville and a chef from Atlanta that I work
Cool.
with and help them with their social media.
And then
How do you
introduced
find-
you
oh,
to
yeah.
My Heart.
Oh,
and
yeah.
They
Yeah.
are trying to steal her all the time.
know.
I did Billy the Kid yesterday, and that
Yeah.
was so cool because, granted, I get to be around really cool people all the time, like y'all and Ben and Skin and all that kind of stuff, which has been awesome. But Billy the Kid, I listened to Kiss FM all the time growing up. I actually remember I was 7, and my mom, that song Shaggy Wasn't Me came on.
Yeah.
And I
It's a
knew
jam.
all the words, and my mom was like, oh my God, my child knows all the words to this. You can no longer listen to Kiss FM. So-
You were banned.
Yeah, I was banned
When you
until
were
I got
7.
until I got a car. And then I listened to Kiss FM all the time, and so it was really cool to see Billy the Kid and Candace yesterday and get to be a part of their first day of their new show on Mix
I know.
1029.
Yeah, and you out at the Freak Remotes every
Yeah.
Friday.
We have fun.
Freaking the weekend. Everything looks so good that you do. So
Yeah,
I'm
you're
proud
so
of
good
you.
at what you do.
I really
You're
appreciate
good at what
that.
you do. Yeah.
Well,
and
and
well,
it's so
especially because
important.
so much of it. it's such an evolving landscape, and I feel like you're always up on everything, and like you're pretty self-taught. I mean, you have the broadcasting background and all that, but all this stuff that you're actually using right now, most of it is totally self-taught.
Like all of it self-taught. I was a sports broadcasting major and did communications like double major in college. Never like thinking I was going to be a reporter or like a sideline reporter or something. Granted, when it comes to me, like this kind of setting's fine, but when it comes to me reporting, I'm dirt. Like I'm so bad. I freeze.
Did you say you're dirt?
Oh, I'm dirt. It's so bad.
I've heard my kids use trash, which I hate, but I haven't heard dirt.
I like
Oh
it.
my gosh. No, seriously, like my first ever like time in on a live broadcast reporting live literally froze. Like there is a video of me somewhere where I am just sitting there shaking my head.
Okay.
It's hard.
Cool.
I
That's good.
definitely
Back
had
to
my
you.
moments too. That's
Thanks,
why I went to
guys.
radio.
I can't pronounce any of these names. This teleprompter is moving too fast. I can't read English. So like hosting and like these kinds of things really were fine for me. And I love interviewing. Like I definitely could interview somebody in my sleep. I love that kind of stuff. But I was like, crap, I'm a terrible reporter. So I might need to shift a little bit.
It might have been the best thing
Oh,
because
for sure.
Oh, it's
you
the best
were
thing
able
for
to-
me,
It's the best thing
totally.
for us, but you were able to get ahead of the curve. Like I feel like
Yes.
social media now, whether it's the live streaming,
Yeah.
YouTube podcasts, like that's
Brand
slowly
building, all
taking
that.
over brand
And
building.
when COVID happened and the company and Game Day moved home full time, it was the absolute best thing that could have ever happened for
Yeah.
me because I was having to do everything myself for every single thing that we did. And it really, like, I have a home studio. Like, I actually have 2 home studios now. Like, I set one up for my dad because he has a podcast that I help him with. And then my office is now a studio, too, and has everything that I could possibly need.
Yeah, that's well. I'm super proud of you. We're not done yet talking. I'm going to talk about a little bit of personal stuff, but we got to, as our producer, the importance of getting
Perfect.
our sponsors.
Hold on, I'm going to go
in.
reset Julie's camera, though.
Okay. Yeah, one of the recent additions in our pool of sponsors here on the show, Texas Fat Loss. They have been really great to work with for me. I've just been kind of wanting to lose a few pounds, before the summertime, before we leave for Hawaii here in a couple of weeks. And it's been really great. I actually got Kelly finally on board with me. So we're going to have a really good week. We're going to buckle down. But I've been really enjoying getting to spread the word. This one is great because they basically, you have an app, you follow the directions on the app. They give you some drops that you drop under your tongue that helps a little bit with energy and metabolism, that kind of thing. And there is a doctor, Dr. Nick, who you can work closely with if you're having any issues following their plan. And it's really easy. Anybody can do it. One thing I love too, I like exercising, but lately getting adjusted to the new morning show, it's been really messing with my schedule, and kids now all around me all the time with summer. So there's no exercise required, no counting points or calories. There's no prepackaged meals. Those things don't taste very good. No bars, no shakes. And it's a product, it's a plan that I fully endorse, and I hope that people are giving Dr. Nick a call to see if maybe he can help you in your weight loss journey, whether you need to lose 15 pounds or 50 pounds. They will make it work for you. The phone number is 972-845-5050, or you can go to texasfatloss.com, or you can just message me on social media and I can hook you up with Dr. Nick. Highly recommend it. Results may vary with Dr. Nick Ponomarenko. But Texas Fat Loss, thank you so much for believing in us here on the Mom Game Podcast.
And same goes for our friends at Early Bird CBD, Eric Culver and his crew. Actually, I don't even know if there's a crew. I mean, I know he's got a crew, but we talked to Eric, the owner, and he's our dude, and we've loved working with him. I have documented my my obsession with the Early Bird gummies, and especially right now when I'm working so much, they come in handy so much because like last night I got home from work. I mean, I need to wind down, but it takes me a while after I get home from work. It's like I can't just like run and jump in bed. And so what I'll do is when I get home, I will just pop a couple of Early Birds, then kind of do my things around the house. My sweep that I do. And then by the time those things kick in, the sweep is done, my makeup's off, I've got my pajamas on, and then I just crawl into bed and I can take a little snoozy pie. So it's early bird CBD gummies are totally legal. They're CBD gummies with like a hint of THC that kind of give you that nice little calm feeling. And we are so thankful for Eric and the crew. They just re-upped with us too and want to continue their partnership. And I think that's what makes me feel so good is when, we've got sponsors like Bottle Rover and Early Bird and Glow. I mean, basically all of ours, we have,
It's
they just want to keep
recurring.
going.
Yeah.
And that makes me feel good knowing hopefully that we're doing something right. So we love Eric and Early Bird. Do we have is the new code out yet or is that starting July?
I don't think it's started quite yet.
Okay. Our current code, which gets you 20% off your first order, is earlybirdcbd.com/TMG. I do believe we're going to have a new code in the next couple of weeks, but this one will be good for sure. So keep going with that one to get 20% off your first order. Give Early Bird CBD a try if you want to take a little edge off of your life and get a little more chill in it.
We love our sponsors.
We love our sponsors. Heart emoji. Okay, so personally, how old are you? What's your status? What's happening?
I'm 30.
Okay.
I'm single,
Okay.
unmarried, no kids.
Ready to mingle?
It depends on the day. Some days I
Okay.
am, some days I'm not. But like, I think so. My little brother's married with
Okay.
a kid. My brand new little niece, and my mom is like dead set on me getting married. Like tomorrow. Like if some guy called my mother and said I have a dowry, like here, let
She's
me
in.
sell your child to me. My mom would probably be for it. But for me personally, I kind of, and this is something that's been like really, like, I've been contemplating a lot lately, I guess is the best way to put it, is that, yes, like if the right person walked into my life tomorrow, great, I'd be good for it. But I work a ton. Like yesterday I was at iHeartRadio at 5 a.m. I left my house at 3. I got home at 2:30 and then I worked until 2 a.m. yesterday morning and then got up, got here, I'm doing all of this, then we're doing something afterwards, and then I go home, I work. Then tomorrow I have another shoot. I leave at 9 a.m. I'm gone all day. I have a networking event tomorrow night, and it's just kind of like, oh crap, like.
That's the tough part of like owning your own business. It's like you gotta.
And my parents own their own business. Like my parents and my grandparents. Like I come from entrepreneurs. Like my parents, my mom literally started my parents' business the year I was born, and so they've been running their business together forever. But it was something that like really had felt contradictory lately. Is that my mom is so dead set on me finding a husband.
Yeah.
Like you need to get married. I want more grandbabies. And I'm just like, okay, I get that. But also in my 20s, you were like, so there was a guy that I was dating when I graduated college. And my mom would not let us date anymore. Like my parents, they're like, we're paying your bills. My parents are great, by the way. So nobody please think that they're terrible because they're not. They're amazing. But my mom was like, you need to get prepared for life. Like you need to find a job. You need to do this. So like y'all need to take a back seat. He can't support you right now. And because of that, like you have to figure it out. So they made me, and growing up, I was a soccer player and I knew at 11 years old that I wanted to play D1 soccer. So that came with obligations of really good grades. And I lived in Azle. So we traveled 2 hours almost every day to practice. So it came with like this really high functioning like perfectionism almost. So where like you put it all into your work, like you became this really high achieving person. And so a lot of men don't like that.
Oh, trust me.
A lot of men really don't like that. And dating sucks. Like my parents hate Bumble and Hinge and all those dating sites. So those are out. I live in Granbury, Texas. So most of the people there are single, or no, not single, are married or older or something along those lines and have their kids. I am probably one of the only like I don't want to call myself middle-aged.
No,
I'm really
you're
not,
definitely
but
not
I'm like,
but 30,
my, like,
it's
young
person in their
professional,
30s. Yeah.
that lives out there. And then I constantly work because I'm trying to build a house and I'm trying to do all these things that have been put on me to do.
Yeah.
So it's just been like really weird. And I feel really contradictory sometimes where it's like, okay, so I've been told I need to be this high achieving, high functioning woman, but I'm also told that like the best thing in what God has us doing, not to get into religion or anything, is to be a wife and to be a mom. And I'm like, okay, guys.
And I think that's probably something where you just like have to have the conversation with your like that's only something that you can decide and you
Yeah.
can figure out. It's like my sister-in-law, Kelly.
Which
We're
I love
the
her.
same age. Yes, she's amazing. And there was a time when, she thought maybe that might be in the cards, being a wife and a mom. And then it was just like as time went on, she didn't have this burning desire to like change her life or
Yeah.
do anything differently to kind of I don't know, nudge things this way.
Yeah,
She
yeah,
just
yeah.
kind of let things play out. And first of all, she's such a great aunt because she just takes my kids and treats
Yeah.
them like hers and then gives them back. And it's like, it's amazing
Oh.
because she's, it's awesome. And so, to her, there wasn't this like, I mean, similar to you, like, oh, if it happens, great. But she didn't have this like burning desire. Like I had that where
Yeah.
I wanted to be a mom, not just wanted to be a mom, but I definitely knew I wanted to be a mom. And so when I had, fertility issues with
Yeah.
Henry, it was just like soul crushing. Like, oh, I could not believe it. And like this one thing that I should be able to do without anyone's assistance, I can't do.
Yeah.
And it was so hard. And so I had that. Kelly didn't
Yeah.
have that. Like, and so I think you kind of have to figure out, and you might have it at one point, and then at another point later on down the road, you're like, I don't know.
Well, and for me, if you would have talked to me like early 20, Ashley, like I would have probably told you that I probably would have been a doctor, which is hilarious. I probably would have, like, if you had asked me 18, I was going to be a doctor, married to the guy I met in college with 3 kids by now.
Yeah.
But then when I got to college, some of the decisions and the people and just the happenings put me on a different route, which was perfect for me because I'm exactly where I think I need to be right now. But I'm so glad I did not marry the person that I thought I was going to marry or that I was in the relationship that I was in because it was toxic and those kinds of things. And they really shaped me to the person I am now, which, yes, I want to be a mother and yes, I want to have children and have a family, however that comes. Either it's I adopt or I have them myself or I marry into a family that he already has children, whatever that may be. But it's just not one of those things that right this second, like, because I don't want to say took so long, but I just don't want to end up doing it and it being the wrong thing.
Yeah.
Like I would rather it be right and I waited until I was 35 or 40.
Right.
Other than being divorced at
Right.
27.
Did you do what apps are you on? Are you
None.
on
I
none?
literally am on no dating apps. I meet 90% of people through like mentoring events.
Okay.
The last guy I was gonna go on a date with, which didn't end up working, but I was too old for him. He's like 26. He's like
That's actually old.
He's like a young 26, and I'm like an old 30. Like I most of my friends are, besides like the 1 or 2 friends that I have from like growing up, most of my friends are in their like late 30s, early 40s.
Okay.
So that's just, it's just funny. Dating's weird too.
I do not envy that.
Yeah.
The
Sounds
last guy that
awful.
I was like technically dating or in a relationship with, 6 months down the road was like, we are not in a relationship. And I was like, I am practically living at your house, man.
What?
Like he
Yeah.
called me a business. So he started a business while we were dating, and it was after we started dating, and I help people. I can do that. I can design your logos. I can help you with your marketing, those kinds of things. And this is before I went out on my own for my own business. So I was like, here, let me help you. Oh yeah. So he got so much work for free. So much work for free. And then he
That
was like, oh,
sucks.
you're a business relationship. And I was just like,
Oh.
you didn't say
Yikes.
that last
F that
night.
guy.
Like, yeah.
We're gonna have to
Yeah.
interview your next candidates.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to bring them onto the
Deal.
mom game, and
It's
Emily
so
and I are gonna
funny,
have to
too,
put them
'cause
through
he-
the ringer.
Yeah, he just got engaged to the girl he dated like right after me, which congratulations, but still,
Yeah,
like
Right.
it was so odd.
that is weird. And that guy sucks.
I
Sorry.
kind of feel like I'm the girl, like the good luck Chuck kind of thing. Like I'm like the girl version. Every guy after he dates me,
Gets
marries the next girl he meets. Like it's just so funny.
You'll find the one.
One day,
you will.
It's
it's all good though. I
Or
really
tell
like
us
my
what's true.
business.
Well, you're
Uh,
killing it.
It's been fun. It's been
Yeah.
super fun, especially getting to be with y'all. That's like one of the highlights of my
Well,
week.
we've
You.
loved having you, and you're stuck with us now.
Oh no, y'all
You
are definitely stuck with
us.
me.
Julie, you have anything else for her? Ashley, anything
No,
else you wanna?
no. I mean, just
Okay.
as long as she knows how grateful we
yes,
are and how proud we are.
guys.
I just it's so funny. I'm like, here's someone's name, then all of a sudden they're like offering full-time jobs to her and don't want to let her go, bringing her in via like different people at iHeart, like the head bosses are like, what's that girl's name? Let's bring her in, you know?
But it was so cool to be able to say, you know what, like I am very comfortable where I am and I have the financial freedom and the time freedom. I think that's the big thing about working from home is when I worked for other people, I always felt like maybe I wouldn't be able to, like if I were to have a family or were to get married, my life would be tied to my job versus being tied to my time. So that the time that I wanted.
It's very valuable.
Yeah.
Yep.
So the time that I wanted to take for my family, because I was super blessed. My parents worked from home.
Yeah.
Like my mom and dad are the best.
Yep.
Like they never missed anything. They traveled with me every weekend for soccer. Like my parents never missed anything. Like I would call my dad. I'm the worst. I would forget like a bra like at high school.
Yeah.
And be like, Dad, oh my gosh, I completely forgot this. Like, can you bring me that? And my parents were there. So for me, that was something that was really important.
Yeah. And that's good for you when you've been able to accomplish what you've accomplished and establish what you've established. That you get to call
There's
this.
some days I really feel like I didn't accomplish much or like I haven't like you know how we all have those standards that we set in our heads. So sometimes I feel like I haven't like met those and then I talk to y'all and y'all make me feel so much better. So I appreciate it.
We're here for that.
We're here for you,
We
girl.
are here for that. Okay, Julie.
Yeah,
you
let's
good?
do this.
Yeah.
You good?
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
Okay.
Did we have fun in Hawaii?
Thank you.
I know. Have so much fun.
I'm really jealous. Oh,
Aloha.
and you look good.
You do.
You look so good, girl.
Texas Palace. I needed a kick in the ass and they gave
Look
it to me.
good, girl. Back that thing up. Okay, that's gonna do it for episode 173. You know how we end it. On the count of three. 1, 2, 3.
Mom game out.
Out.
Out.